You're watching RTV News with me, Jane Mutoni. The headlines. President Paul Kagame has called on the authorities to uphold the oath of office and to harmonize their speeches with actions in all public affairs. President Paul Kagame has said that the issue of the ADF narrow terrorist group operating in the Great Lakes region is not unique to the country. A very warm welcome to the news. In details now, President Paul Kagame has called on the authorities to uphold the oath of office and to harmonize their speeches with actions in all public affairs. The head of state made the remarks at the swearing-in ceremony of the new minister and minister of state in the Ministry of Infrastructure. Take a look.
The new government officials sworn in this Thursday afternoon include Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Nsabimana Ernest, and Engineer Uwase Patrici, State Minister in the Ministry of Infrastructure. President Paul Kagame thanked the newly appointed leaders and called on them to continue to be loyal to the work they have done in the past, which is closely linked to the infrastructure sector. The head of state also called on the leaders in general to always take into account their responsibilities and to value the trust placed in them by the appointing authorities. Giving an example of wild animals that have terrorized livestock in Bigogwe in Nyabihu district, President Kagame tasked leaders to seek solution to these challenges, as well as many other issues faced with the ordinary people. I was told that the issue of wild animals attacking livestock has been ongoing since 2019. Over 50 cattle have been killed by wild animals. You wonder how leaders have not addressed such issue. How do you explain that? The head of state also urged authorities to listen to the concerns of the people and to look after the interests of the people in everything they do. This COVID-19 pandemic has forced people to wear face masks. I would understand if the masks cover the eyes, but the point I want to make here is face masks don't cover eyes and ears. We should be able to see and listen. I feel that people talk a lot more than they actually act. Leaders, we don't need to come here for the swearing-in ceremony, and it just stops there, without delivering on the responsibilities at hand. President Paul Kagame also urged leaders to put interests of the Rwandan citizens first. The new Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Ernest Nsabimana, previously served as the Director General of the Rwanda Utilities Regulatory Authority, RURA, while Engineer Patrici Uwase was previously the Permanent Secretary in the same ministry. Ensuring 100% clean water supply and electrification in Rwanda, streamlining public transport in the city of Kigali, and expediting the construction works of Bugesera International Airport are some of the major projects awaiting the newly appointed cabinet members in the Ministry of Infrastructure. Reporting for RTV News, Ethan Tashabia.
Thank you, Ethan, for that report. Now, counsel for the plaintiffs in the case of FLN MRCD terror convicts, including Paul Sesabagina and a co-accused, have asked the Court of Appeals to give due value to their properties damaged by the FLN rebel attacks, citing that the ruling of the Specialized Chamber for International Crimes of the High Court did not give them due justice. Innocent Mugabo reports.
The properties in question, which plaintiffs are appealing for compensation, were destroyed by FLN MRCD rebel attacks that took place in different parts of Rwanda at different times. The appellants of the Court of Appeal fall into two categories. The first category has some 44 passengers have appealed to the tribunal after being dissatisfied with the ruling of the Specialized Chamber for International Crimes of the High Court, citing that the court did not give right value to the properties destroyed by the attackers. Another group is of about 52 people who are claiming compensation for their property damaged by the FLN rebels. They told the court that the High Court had dismissed their allegations and that no compensation had been paid to them because they were required to provide evidence, but some of them couldn't find it. Some of these appellants show evidence of their body injuries as a result of the FLN. Others claim that their property had been damaged beyond notice, which was undermined by the court. Defendants told the court that they agreed to pay for the damaged property but demanded that they cooperate with other former members of the group who were taken to Mutobo Demobilization and Reintegration Center because some of them were also directly involved in the attacks. They said this based on the fact that the money required to pay for the damaged property was so high that they would not get it. The trial was adjourned and is set to resume on Thursday, February 10th, 2022. Innocent Mugabo, RTV News.
In Rwanda district, a project is set to be implemented whereby residents will be irrigating their crops using mobile phone application without having to be at the site. This method will be used to irrigate about 50,000 hectares in all districts within the eastern province. At the site where a mobile irrigation project will be established, machines are digging for water extraction at a depth of 120 meters, as it will be running through pipes straight to people's farms. Farmers in Karenji sector in Rwanda district say that long dry spells had destroyed their crops, but that now there is hope because of this new mobile app-powered irrigation system.
We didn't get the harvest that we had expected due to lack of rain, but now we have hope, thanks to this company. We shall be using a new irrigation system, especially during the dry season.
The new irrigation method built into marathon telephones that has been provided to the residents free of charge under the Connect Rwanda program. Entrepreneur Karinganire Eric, who has acquired this technology in China and India, explains how this technology works.
Through an application, one will be able to send a signal to the machines at the river. This method is commonly used in foreign countries and it's going to be implemented here in Rwanda for the first time. It's almost like a remote, except that people will be using their smartphones. So this is a new technological method and we need this to reach many farms. So we ask officials to help us in terms of mobilization, as currently we are working with SACCO.
Emmanuel Mwari, head of the Karenji sector, said the irrigation technology is a game changer because they use mountain water. Addressing the House of Representatives on the draft budget reform bill 2021-2022, Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzienda Jimana, pointed out that during the 2022 crop season A, production has increased by 7%. He added that the budget for agriculture has been increased and that irrigation system has been improved through technology.
Bijyanye no kuhira kugira ngo dushobore guhangana n'ibihe by'amapfa ibihe by'izuba.
Irrigation infrastructure was established in order to manage the drought or dry season and to also educate those in the agriculture sector or in cooperatives and to also facilitate them financially through this budget in agricultural activities and other related activities. As you will notice in this revised national budget, which is 6 billion Rwandan francs.
The 7-year government plan expects this irrigation system to reach 102,284 hectares by 2024 from 48,508 hectares in 2016-2017. The new irrigation system will be done on marshland agriculture and small-scale agriculture. This Tuesday, the World Vision Rwanda launched a 5-year strategy, 2021-2025, which aims at contributing to sustainable well-being of 2 million most vulnerable children in Rwanda by 2025. Now, this strategy is in alignment with World Vision Global Strategy and Government of Rwanda National Strategy for Transformation. Betty Mutoni reports.
Uwimana Caritas, one of the beneficiaries of the World Vision's program, reserves praise for this organization which has built houses for vulnerable families. And they continue to sponsor vulnerable children to go to school, and in some areas they have built schools.
When it
comes to education, World Vision does different things like building schools which reduce overcrowding in classrooms. And during COVID-19 pandemic, they built hand washing stations which help students to wash their hands well and in time. The UNICEF representative to Rwanda has appreciated the partnership with the World Vision, which contributed in changing lives of many children, as she explained.
I'm very happy to see the inclusion of education, of water and sanitation, the continued focus on reducing poverty, and the continued focus on reducing stunting. Those are all very important aspects.
The National Director of World Vision Rwanda, Pauline Okum, says that the organization's 5-year strategy presented the major areas of concern, and this will be achieved in partnership with the Rwandan government in transforming the lives of Rwandans.
One of the things that we are looking at is, for example, water access, sanitation and hygiene. We've seen with the experience we've gone through with COVID, hygiene and sanitation is very critical. So as a preventive, it's a point of emphasis, and we need that water. That's why the commitment we've made to the government that will reach out at least to 1 million children or people with access to clean water.
The Director General of Gender Promotion and Women Empowerment at the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion in Rwanda, Sirasingayabosh, has appreciated the work of World Vision, which is in alignment with the government's National Strategy for Transformation, NST1.
This strategy is like a holistic one because it is an integrated and holistic strategy taking into account the aspects of nutrition and livelihoods, wash, education, child protection, and the fifth aspect we have appreciated is the way, yes, it is focusing on child protection and development, but also in the children's environment.
World Vision is currently operating in 29 out of 30 districts in Rwanda, supporting more than 1.8 million people, especially children, with interventions in areas of education, child sponsorship, health and nutrition, water, sanitation and hygiene, and economic empowerment. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Betty. Now, President Paul Kagame has said that the issue of the ADF narrow terrorist group operating in the Great Lakes region is not unique to the country. While speaking about the security situation in the region, the head of state pointed out that Rwanda has the principle of fighting war on enemy territory when it calls for it. Now, he also told the parliament that the deployment of Rwandan security forces deployed in the Central Africa and Mozambique will last a long time.
The security situation in Rwanda and the neighboring countries is one of the issues raised by President Paul Kagame during his remarks at the swearing-in ceremony of the newly appointed government officials in the Ministry of Infrastructure. The head of state noted that security concerns in Rwanda's south, emanating from the armed groups operating in the forests of Burundi, is about to fully be solved. He said that a common stand between the governments of Rwanda and Burundi have been taken to resolve this issue. There's a good progress made so far. In the near future, Rwanda's relations with Burundi will get back to normal. You've been following the security issues originating from Kibira Forest. Armed people have been carrying out incursions on Rwanda and fleeing back to Kibira. It is still work in progress, and both sides are committed to see it through. On January 31, 2022, the Gatuna border between Rwanda and Uganda was reopened after nearly 3 years of closure. President Kagame said that those who cross the border should follow health protocols to control the spread of COVID-19. He noted that the health authorities in both countries are discussing the progress, but also discussing the existing obstacles that led to the closure of the border in the first place. The reopening of the border has to be in line with the measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. That's all. We agreed to work together. Health officials from Uganda and Rwanda must work together to come up with common procedures to address the issue of COVID-19. The border reopened, and there are signs that Uganda has started to address the issues that led to the closure of the border. We will keep monitoring the progress and work together. We are making good progress. Still on the security matters, President Kagame discussed details on the Rwanda's deployment of armed forces in the Central African Republic and Mozambique. He told legislators that the operations in both countries are going well for the Rwandan forces, but also revealed that those operations against terrorism may take longer. The president also noted that Rwanda stands ready to combat any negative forces that may try to destabilize Rwanda, including terror groups that are linked to ADF, a terrorist group operating in the Great Lakes region. Recently, we arrested some terrorists here in Rwanda linked to a terror group operating in DRC, known as ADF. That's why ADF is a regional problem. It is not a one country's problem. Our focus is on DRC because of the terror groups based there, including FDLR and other groups which could merge with ADF. We are monitoring the situation there, but I'm confident that we'll solve that issue. In some cases, we may negotiate, cooperate, and if it crosses the red line, we shall intervene and take on the issue. We wish everybody in the region peace, but anyone who wishes us a war, we give it to them. We have professionals trained for it. Rwanda is small in size. Our doctrine is to fight war on enemy territory when it calls for it.
turagaho gato nta mwanya dufite hano wo kurwaniramo tuzarwanira aho intambara yaturutse bo bafite umwanya wo kurwaniramo.
President Paul Kagame emphasizes that Rwanda will continue to do its utmost to ensure that the country's priority remains, which is to ensure that its citizens and residents are safe and its development is unhindered. Reporting for RwandaTV News, Ethan Tashabia.
Northern Province Governor Dansila Nyirarugero says the Rwandan Army activities that contribute to the development of the community are a source of pride. She made the remarks while highlighting the achievements of the community as the military and the police embark on a 5-day study tour leading to the completion of their studies at the Military Academy in Musanze district. Martina Abera reports.
The soldiers and police have started a 5-day study tour in 8 districts of 4 provinces of Rwanda as they prepare to complete their masters in security studies. It is a prelude to the enlightenment of all the programs that have been put in place to accelerate the development of the people of the northern province by focusing on the poorest families, creating new jobs, combating malnutrition, saving and improving the lives of people. Lieutenant Colonel Francis Gatare and Major Umuhozi Chantal says this will help them in their research.
We are
going to take a look at the plans that the government has in terms of security. Then we will also observe how the residents go about it and what problems they face during these programs that are aimed at developing the security of the community. Senegalese squadron leader Sene Ali, meanwhile, praised Rwanda's efforts to develop its people, saying that such security that go hand in hand with such activities is going to be emphasized even more.
The story of Rwandan story success is among one of the most important in Africa, and it is due by this homegrowing solution in socio-economic development, and those programs as Mutuelle de Santé, Girinka and VOP are very important for us to understand the phenomenon of security, and assess in our government to prevent the conflicts by creating an environment for the human being, for the development of the human being, to ensure that all our population are living in a very good condition that avoid those conflicts.
Northern Province Governor Dansila Nyirarugero, who showed the soldiers the efforts to improve the living conditions, pointed out that the military and local authorities have been instrumental in their development. They help us in so many activities, they help us in the treatment of the locals, and they also help us in supporting the needy. There are so many activities that they do, and I would like to thank them for that. What I may ask them is that they educate us as well on the findings that they will have received from these studies that they have embarked on, so that we can improve on what we don't do well. In the Eastern Province, Governor Emmanuel Gasana talked to the students about finding solutions such as the Diringha program, which helped about 115,000 people to help fight malnutrition and improve the quality of life of the people, including the health insurance program, community work, VUP, and others to help lift the country out of poverty. In the Southern Province, however, they were briefed on policies for social development and their implementation. Governor Alice Kaitesi pointed out that these policies and programs are aimed at the community to better their standards of living from extreme poverty and helping them to maintain their status. The students expressed their satisfaction with the information provided on these poverty alleviation programs in Rwanda. In the Western Province, Governor Habitegeko Francois also briefed them on the country's development and social programs, including the Diringha program, VUP, community work, health insurance, and others that accelerated the social development of the community. The 48 soldiers from 11 countries, including 31 Rwandans, started the study tour in the country, and they are in the 10th promotion of this course. Martina Ebera, RTV News.
Some of the students who excelled in the national examinations in sciences and humanities are grateful to the government for providing them a program to continue imparting knowledge to the young people that are still in secondary and primary schools.
Education is one of the pillars of development. However, most of the people reject the teaching profession due to its challenges. Rebecca Omuhoza and Paul Shaka are fresh graduates from secondary school who are currently learning and practicing the teaching profession in different schools in Kigali. They say that by teaching, they learn various skills and also contribute to the development of the country by sharing the knowledge to the young people that are still in primary and secondary schools.
But when we are teaching, we gain other skills. Like I've told you, leadership skills, problem-solving skills, even other different skills we get in teaching. I want to aspire other youth in secondary, especially in science, to come and give their knowledge to young youth in secondaries, even lower primaries.
When you love your country, you would like to have it has like a knowledgeable people. So I came here like to help my young sisters and brothers so that they can come with a huge knowledge. Try this.
Some of the teachers that assist day by day these teaching assistants note that this program of training these young people in the teaching profession will contribute in the education sector.
I can say that it is benefiting from now, and it will benefit even in the future because they have practiced it, they know point A to B. So even if they are given any chance, I'm very sure that it will be productive to the education sector.
To encourage young people to pursue a career in education, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Inspire, Educate and Empower project and the MasterCard Foundation, they assist them financially and also provide them with materials that help them in their daily work. The country director of the Inspire, Educate and Empower Rwanda, Emmanuel Murenzi, noted that empowering the youth to become future teachers is beneficial to the country.
As very many people always say, the youth are the future of this nation. And I mean, if we get to empower the youth, then we shall have empowered the nation of tomorrow. So looking at the current youth that we have, if we are inspiring them to become teachers, tomorrow we shall have a generation of young teachers who are smart, and therefore, of course, automatically that will also even improve the teaching and learning outcomes in the schools.
According to the Director General of the Rwanda Education Board, Dr. Nelson Barushimana, this program will help in mentoring future smart teachers who love this profession.
kugira ngo ireme ry'uburezi rizamuke nuko haba habaye abarimu babikunze babishoboye.
In order to improve the quality of education, there is a need for willing, capable teachers, especially this 21st century. Technology is needed in education, such as preparing notes and attending different meetings.
The students who are currently doing the teaching assistantship program are 310. 70% of them have done science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, abbreviated as STEM, in their secondary schools, while 30% have done humanities. Olive Nete, reporting for RTV News.
Well, there you have it. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company. I'm Jane Motoni. Bye for now.